What's up, brothers and sisters? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. We had a good old-fashioned bloodbath today in the stock market with this DeepSeek AI China news, really taking it to the woodshed, to semiconductor companies and AI companies in general, as the first reaction that's come out of the stock market is that, right, this is some kind of game changer because it's cheaper, it's faster, and it doesn't require as much energy. So the gist of, like, how the news was took today was that, right now the big 7, big 10, right, companies in the United States, they're spending $50-60 billion a year in capital expenditures to get themselves ready for AI. Most of that is spent on data center and energy, right? And so they're signing deals with, right, nuclear companies and stuff like that to power all these, right, AI data centers. So the deep dick comes out and says, we don't need all of that. Hey, we just spent a few $1,000,000. You can put this on your computer. It's open source. Everybody can have it. And so poof, right? The algos kicked in at the open. Now, whether this actually holds true or not, we don't know, right? Yet. At first look, sure. But I've been trading since 2008 full time, and I've seen since I've been started trade that every year there's like some new Chinese miracle. They're the best economy. They're the smartest people. They're kindergarteners can do high level calculus while doing backflips in kung fu and fighting off panda bears with utensils, and right, they're the best at everything, blah blah blah. But in reality, right, like none of those awesome technologies has come to fruition, and even their miracle economy has been in huge trouble. So we don't always know at first look. So the key is going to be, it was today a one-off event, meaning that the news came, and because everybody was so positioned, so a lot of the stock market is about positioning, right? And when you have a crowded trade, right, like everybody piles into NVIDIA, everybody's holding Tesla, right? If you guys remember in 2023, the market was in very crowded trades, and that it was 2023, the stock market was up a lot, but it was all because, right, of the gains in NVIDIA and some of these companies that were up hundreds of percent, and so the stock market was up, but everything else sucked, right? And so, there maybe have been some crowded trades, and so what happens is when these kind of news, hits, you just get smoked out, and, you get the kind of waterfall effect where the algos kick in, and you don't know what's going on, right? And so, you can see here, NVIDIA opens up, and then it's just, right, whoosh, right off to the races. And it's not just NVIDIA, right? All the semiconductors. Guys, dude, AVGO think about this. I put this damn AVGO on the blog, right, on this YouTube videos that I do every day for like all these weeks, right? And man, I've been sitting there racking my brain, like, when does this thing ever go up, right? And it's like, here we are right at the breakout spot, ready to do the deed, and then poof, right? Not only did it break down, but it broke under the 50-day moving average. And, now maybe you got, I don't know, if it's not a one-off thing, then the bounce spot is probably closer to like a 185. If it's a one-off thing, then what it will do is just remount tomorrow and start to kind of work its way back. And so that's the key for today. We had very, very crowded trades in the market. And so when you're leaning one way, everything rolls over, right? So like these things like Oklo, huge crowded trade, right? Like, you're at 21, you go to 45. The whole world is buying this thing. It's doing 50 million shares of volume, right? Like, and it's still a pretty small company. And probably has no revenues and, all of this kind of stuff. But, right, everybody starts to pile into these things because it's the future. Oh, like, hey, baby nukes, right? Like, baby nukes? I don't even know what that means. But, right, hey, we got these little baby nukes. Hey, come and buy us. And so you just have a crowded trade. And then so, you fizzle this thing back out. And you get this just huge, right, nasty McGee. I shorted this. Dude, the gap down, I shorted this on the first pop in the chat room. I got maybe about close to 34. And I covered down into this flush, and then I missed the reshort into the bone zone as I started knee deep in every single name I could think of. Man, we made so many trades in the chat room today. My fingers haven't felt like this since 11th grade, man. Right? Like, my fingers haven't had this much action in a long time. And so it was just off to the races. So AVGO, right? NNE. So, CEG, we shorted CEG in the chat room too. And, big wind downs, right? This is a $100 billion company. This is not like AVGO or NNE. Still, a 20% move for a $100 billion company is a huge thing. So now what happens next? Is this a one-off thing or not, right? So we'll know tomorrow if there's follow through, or if the bounce is really light and then the next day there's follow through, then, these runs are probably over for a period of time and they're going to need a long time to heal. Guys, stocks, when they make these kind of moves, like see this kind of move right here from here to here, they take months. So if the trend is intact, even if it's intact, it will take months to heal this drop. Like look at this last move over here from here, right? It goes from like 200 to 300. It took all of October, November, December, right? Into January before it picked up steam. Stocks are not linear where they just pop and then they keep going. So like this type of drop today, it takes months to heal this, right? Like these type of drops take months. I was in knee deep in this NBIS. I had to wake up at the butt crack of dawn to sell out of this thing. I had this thing for a swing from, 28, and then I even added some, and, so on and so forth. Dude, when you have a breakout like this that fails on this much volume, even if it comes back, and it may not, but the chart is broken, right? And it could take months, 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, we don't know, right? To heal. And so, at the moment, these are all leave-alones now. We'll know tomorrow. So, I encourage you not to just, blindly buy things. If you're a value investor, sure, maybe if NVIDIA comes down into this like 100 spot or something right there, right? Like that'd be pretty sick. But the trend has been broken, right? Like, as day traders and short-term traders, we want to be participating in markets when, when the trend is intact like this and it's steep. You don't need to be like doing when it's like, right, just kind of grindy McGee up here, right? We're in the business of hot heat, right? We're young men trying to go for glory day after day. And so we got to be in the hottest stocks. We got to be, in the better stuff. So I think we'll know tomorrow kind of what happens. If we gap up tomorrow, we may fade off. I really don't know. If we gap down, we may bounce. I really don't know if it's a one-off thing or not, right? This DeepSeek thing, it came as a big surprise, right? And, the tried and true thing that we had been thinking for the last couple of years is that, to do this AI, you need these big data centers and you need this nuclear power and you need all of these things and the quantum computings. And then, right, DeepSeek comes out and they're like, hey, man, you could just download our shit and put it on your phone. And it's like, everybody's like, what the heck? So things have changed. So let's be mindful of that. Now, look, the market was down a lot today, but if you look, 70% of the SPY stocks were up today, right? On the QQQs, 55% of the stocks were up. So even though you were down 3%, 55% of the QQQs was up. 40% of the U.S. common stocks was up. 1,000 of the Russell 2000, so that's about 50%. So let me change this here real quick. If you do count passing and do percentage, there. And, hat tip to my boy Trade the Risk. I don't know if you guys have ever seen his stuff on Twitter. Awesome dude. He always helps me make these scans and stuff. You should, if you ever are interested in like just making scans, like you hit him up, he'll make you whatever you need. It's pretty cool. So SPY's up, right? In general, it was just these big, the market's down so much because of NVIDIA, right? And Taiwan Semiconductor and these really big companies. So just be mindful. We don't know what's up tomorrow, but we'll see what's going on. So the plays for tomorrow. We want to keep these things on the watch list because they're going to have the range, right? They're at these key spots here at the 200-day moving average. AVG, they're at these inflection points. AVGO is at the 50-day moving average, right? TSM is, right, back down into this big kind of support module, right? Like down here. Let's see. Maybe, dude, we get this thing into the 180s or something. Maybe we get a bounce. But the trends are busted. I repeat, the trends are busted. I'm talking about for a day. This is the hardest trade in the world to do is when you don't know if a stock is a long or short because the trend is busted. So these are like kind of scalp opportunities because the range is going to be there, but you don't have to step in front of it. Beyond that, dude, look, relative strength, Twilio. A lot of relative strength plays today, right? Twilio. You want to be a piece of this. This is an earnings play. Even with the market laying that big Cleveland steamer, you got yourself a nice move on this one. It's holding up. You know, CRM. Guys, this thing's about to bust loose, right? Like this is, look at this thing. Big monster stick today. Earnings are not for another month. Big volume today. We want to be in this business, right? We want to be in this business. Snowblow, right? Don't worry even how you draw this. It did have a little bit of a reversal today, but overall, the structure of this is holding up really well. The trend is higher on this. So we want to be a part of that. Netflix flagging out, right? You got a couple of very small down days. This, I would not be surprised if it goes tomorrow. The key is this 950's got to hold and let it just marinate, right? It's marinating on the hibachi grill. Just let it just chill, and it's tightening up, and then poof, it'll go. And guys, you don't have to be a hero. There's a time and place in the markets where you really want to put some gusto into it. And there's some times where there's so many unknowns that, you know, we scalp around for income and, right, you know, we take quick trades and, you know, we just try to survive and make some money, pay the bills, right? You know, do all that kind of stuff. So keep an eye on Netflix. Dude, the Meta's the leader, man. This thing was at 606 in the pre-market. I was thinking this thing would follow the rest of them. What do I know, right? Like, I'm glad that I'm a day trader and I don't have to take these guesses or make inference of like what a stock is worth or going to do. We let the pattern show and, you know, you're ready to go. So let's, you know, keep an eye on this bad boy too. It's got a really good look, all right? Now, Costco's got a nice little doohickey over here. Dude, really liking the overall look of this thing. You know, this is also like, you know, we're looking for names that are, you know, kind of bucking the trend. I think this one's got a little bit of a hot one. And then look, add a couple of these Chinese names. PDD had an inside day on it. I think Baba's holding up. You know, if the deep dick is going to go, then let's see what else is going on. So guys, don't be a hero. Don't start a step in front of things if you don't see the setup, right? Like, you know, if you're going to be like trying to, you know, get bottom picky with NVIDIA or something, make sure you got the setup and you're managing the risk. It's okay to take small losses. All right. I love you guys. Be careful. It's a weird one out there. There's a time and place for everything. And think about earnings plays and all of that kind of stuff. All right. Because those will move irregardless of what's happening in the market.